Hi, Jim here, just dropping in before this week's episode to tell you about my latest movie, The Apocalypse Box. It's a horror film and I'd love for you to check it out. If you go to apocalypsebox.co.uk, you can find all the links on where you can watch the movie. Right, let's get on with this week's episode. Hi, Jim here, and you're listening to the Honest Filmmaker podcast, career advice from people in the business. So, with 2025 upon us, I thought it'd be a good chance to look back at the past 12 months. The podcast, this has been the first full year of the podcast, and I've had some really interesting chats with lots of industry professionals, lots of people working on big TV shows and films, lots of indie filmmakers, people who know about sales, and lots of other interesting jobs in creative industries. So I thought it'd be a good chance to look back at that 12 months. And I also thought I'd give you my recommendations from last year, some of the things I watched and really enjoyed. And I've also asked some of the contributors to the podcast, some of those faces you might have seen or heard from this year, friends of the podcast, and other people I know to give me some recommendations for TV shows and films you may have missed. So, first of all, let's talk about some of the lessons learned from the past 12 months from all of the people I've spoken to. Now, if you listen to this podcast because you are interested in career advice specifically, maybe you're a student or you're leaving university and you're wanting to work in a creative industry, I think the biggest takeaway I've had from all of the people I've spoken to at all levels is that no career path is the same. So it might seem from the outside that somebody's making these huge jumps and being discovered, or ending up working on a huge TV production from just doing a short film, but it rarely works like that. A lot of the time people make small incremental shifts in their career and it builds very slowly, very surely. They work on small projects, these projects get bigger, and usually the way they move on to these bigger projects is through meeting people, networking, making connections, and genuinely enjoying working with the people they're working with until they get to this sort of top tier level where they're perhaps getting offered the chance to go in and pitch for work because they've got a reputation. But again, it always boils down to those relationships and being a reliable person that people want to work with. On the indie filmmaking side, I'd say the majority of people I spoke to either self-funded their projects or used crowdfunding, which surprised me as I thought maybe they'd be more using private investment, but it seems like self-funding and crowdfunding are the way everyone's going at the moment. Also, it seems like the budgets are going down on indie and micro budget film production. So keeping those costs super low means that you've got more chance of making a return on the initial amount that you've sunk into your own project. For sales and distribution, what everyone's calling self-distribution, although that's not necessarily exactly what it is, but self-distribution seems to be the thing that everyone in the indie filmmaking community is looking at right now. They're doing away with the regular deals they have with sales agents where there's potential for them perhaps not to get any money back at all. Now self-distribution, whether that be through an aggregator or a platform like Film Hub, seems to be the way forward for everyone. There's loads of information out there on Film Hub. I'll probably end up doing another chat with Jason Horton, the man, to chat about Film Hub, because it seems like different platforms, they're all moving up and down with regards to who pays out the most. So Film Hub definitely is a viable option for indie filmmakers. Then you've got companies like Indie Rights, who you can work with. That's who my film, The Apocalypse Box, is with. So it's interesting to see some of the filmmakers I've chatted to have literally gone straight to Indie Rights. They've not bothered talking to sales agents. They've not gone on Film Hub. They've gone to Indie Rights because they've thought this is somewhere I can put my film. It's guaranteed to get on a few of the platforms. And also I've sort of got somebody shepherding my movie through sales and distribution. So be interested to see how that pans out in the future. And I'll definitely let you know how the Apocalypse Box goes with regards to the working relationship with Indie Rights. Another theme that's definitely connected to sales and distribution has been finding your audience and promoting your film to that audience. Now, obviously, I've just been through the process because I've just had a film come out. So for me, this is very relevant and it's very intense having to promote your own feature film. So you've not got any marketing budget. You've not got any companies out there who are pushing the film for you. It's really up to you to direct people to that platform to stream your movie. So that's been quite intense. I've had some really good chats with people like Rosa, if you check out that podcast episode about how to promote your film. And within that, there's lots of talk about finding your audience. I'd say to check out the chat with Justin Milton, who's a filmmaker from America, who's definitely found his audience. He's found a certain type of film that he makes for his audience that they lap up, and he seems to be making a good deal of money from it. So definitely thinking about that at the beginning of production, when you're at the script stage, is who is my audience? How am I going to get to them? And what is it they want? Because when you come to put the movie out and try and promote it, it's going to make your life 100 times easier. I've also had a couple of reports from film markets. So Mark Hampton kindly did a little vlog for me from Cannes, and also spoke to some filmmakers who went to AFM. If you're thinking of going to Cannes next year, or you want to know how the markets work, definitely listen to the Mark Hampton episode. It's a real eye-opener. Not only just for how the film market works, but some of the trends that are coming through at the moment. So there's some interesting chat on there about emerging markets, who's paying more for feature film rights at the moment, and also the value of a remake. So selling the remake rights to your project to other production companies, maybe bigger production companies. So now I want to talk about some of the films and TV shows that I've absolutely loved in 2024. I'm going to start with maybe my favorite film of the year, which is The Substance. If you haven't seen it, it's amazing. It's a horror film, so it taps into that body horror. So if you're a bit squeamish, it might not be for you, but I absolutely love the style of it. If you are in the UK, I think you can see it on Mubi for free if you sign up for a 7-day trial. So that's a nice way to see the movie for free. And then also check out the other titles Mubi's got. My next recommendation up there with The Substance is Long Legs. Again, another horror. I absolutely love this movie. It's so atmospheric. It's so weird and crazy. It's definitely worth checking out. And then the third movie I'd recommend, yes, it's kind of another horror, is Heretic with Hugh Grant. Well acted, superb performance from Grant, and also a good look at how you can make a film that's set in one location with essentially a lot of dialogue, but still keep it tense and exciting. So a special mention TV wise would be for anything that's on Apple that Apple make, because it seems like their production value and quality is just through the roof. Currently hooked on Silo and really enjoyed Slow Horses, all of the series. Definitely check those out. So here's some suggestions from some of the people that have been on the podcast and some friends of the podcast.
Hi, I'm Lucy. I am a script editor for film and television. I'm also an author, and I help writers get words on the page. So what are my favourites for 2024? Well, it was a fantastic year for movies and TV. I think for television, it's a tie. I loved the British BBC miniseries The Jetty, all about teenage mums and consent and secrets and lies from the past. I also really enjoyed Netflix's No Good Deed, which is by Liz Feldman of Dead to Me. And again, all about secrets and lies. It's one of my favourite things to watch and also write about as well. So I really felt that both those series were really, really excellent. And then the movie that I absolutely loved this year that really stood out to me would be Rebel Ridge. I thought that it was really fantastic characterization and fantastic pacing. They're calling it the thinking man's Rambo, though, which shows that the people doing the PR don't actually understand Rambo because it was very much a thematic and, very much a thinking person's movie, that first Rambo. Maybe the rest weren't, but Rebel Ridge was really, really fantastic. Really great update on that old school story, whilst also making it really relevant and relatable for today.
Hello, Jim and the Honest Filmmaker. My name's Corrinne Wicks and I'm an actress. My pick for 2024 is The Penguin, which was riveting from start to finish. And what I like best about it were the performances. Colin Farrell is absolutely unrecognisable and Kristin Milioti is fabulous. So yes, that's my pick. Hello, it's Corrinne Wicks again. Just watched Gavin and Stacey, the Christmas episode finale, and that is my new pick for 2024. Oh, it's so beautiful. I love it.
Hi, my name's Jon Moore, and I'm a prosthetic makeup artist. My favourite film of 2024 was Fall Guy. I thought it was a great throwback to simpler, more entertaining blockbusters. And I remember leaving the cinema thinking if I didn't already work in film, that one would definitely have steered me in that direction. And a quick mention to Arcane for being my favourite TV show. I thought it was such a richly detailed world and storyline, and I thought it was just beautifully done all throughout.
Hello, Jim and the Honest Filmmaker. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. This is Tom Butcher. I'm an actor. My outstanding TV film experience of the year must be, it's a recent one. I was very late to the game, but I binge watched Dexter and I got completely involved and lost track of time and everything. It kept me on the edge of my seat for a long time, which was very good because it meant there was room for the cat to come and sit behind me and watch it as well, which was lovely.
Hello, Jim, and everybody who's tuning into the Honest Filmmaker podcast. I'm Bev Sandford. I'm an author who writes horror and drama for children, and I also write for Doctor Who. My favourite film of 2024 is the new animated film from the Australian writer and director Adam Elliott, who previously made Mary and Max, which is my favourite animated film of all time. Adam's new film, Memoir of a Snail, is an absolute triumph of stop motion, but it's also an absolutely wonderful, wonderful film for so many other reasons. When I saw it at the London Film Festival this year, it absolutely brought the house down and everybody around me was just crying and laughing all the way through the film. It's about a girl called Grace who has a really big heart but a really sad past, and it's about the journey that she goes on. And I think it's just one of those wonderful films that you come out of and you really need to take some time to process what you've just seen and why it's so important. And I think it really will make so many people out there feel seen in a way that they really need to be seen. I don't want to say too much about it because it will spoil the plot, but it is you really ought to check it out if you can. It's inspiring and poignant and funny and hopeful, and I think it's absolutely up there with Mary and Max as my favourite animated film of all time, and it absolutely deserves all the wonderful awards that it's won. I also wanted to give a shout out to The Apocalypse Box, which is my favourite indie film of the year, because that's also a triumph of filmmaking, I think. Other than that, I hope you've all seen some great films, and I just wanted to say Happy New Year to you and all the podcast listeners, and I really hope next year is a really great year for film.
Hi, this is Ross Boyask, creative director of Evolutionary Films and writer and director of the I Am Vengeance film franchise. My favourite film of 2024 was Conclave, an excellent, intricate thriller, meticulously laid out, beautifully presented with some fantastic performances. In terms of television, I'd say our favourite TV show of the year has been the latest season of Slow Horses. It's gripping, compelling, got some great action set pieces, and it's also very, very funny. Wishing everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year 2025.
My name is Glenn Yard, and I am a location, sound recordist and post-sound editor. My favourite films I've seen at the actual cinema this year are basically only kids' films that I've seen with my son, but I'd happily prod you towards Robot Dreams, which is a great film for kids about how nothing really lasts forever, and that's okay. It's beautifully done. The Wild Robot, loads of great stuff in there. It tries to pack in a bit too much and it's got far too many endings, but there's loads of, again, poignant moments and spine-tingling at times. And also Transformers 1, which was a genuine surprise for me. Sort of did a lazy Saturday morning, let's just go see anything. And it was empty in there, but film was snappy, exciting and plot driven.
Hi, this is Pat Higgins and I'm a writer-director. My most recent movie was Power Tool Cheerleaders versus the boy band of the Screeching Dead. My favourite movie of 2024 was The Substance, because it's an incredible journey through a load of really remarkable visuals and some really, really smart ideas anchored with incredible performances. Thoroughly recommend it. If you've got a relatively strong stomach for body horror, it absolutely rocks. Have a fantastic 2025, everybody.
Lots of great suggestions there. Thanks so much for listening in 2024 and for subscribing, whether you're listening on a podcast platform or whether you're watching the YouTube videos. I'm looking forward to lots of really interesting conversations in 2025, and I hope you'll be there with me.